Hey y'all, it's me, Stop, Drop, and Roll On. And I just got through walking them 4 miles. I got them all done this morning. I got myself up out the bed this morning and spent some time in the Word. That's how early I've been up because it's only 6:17 a.m. my time. And I'm talking about more than a minute in the Word. And then the Word of God. And then I knew it was time for me to walk. And I needed to get all 4 of these miles in this morning. It's just, I keep saying it, but it's just true. And I have to keep on saying it until I, do it. All at one time, just consistently keep doing it all at once. Because when I don't, it's real easy for the day to get like that. Anywho, Proverbs 14 and 15. It says, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. And basically, it's just talking about, when you're prudent, you think before you talk. When you're prudent, you look before you leap. Okay? And I'm just saying that because something came to me yesterday. And I said I was going to, share it with y'all. And it has been, that verse, along with several others, has saved me on a lot of occasions. Served me well is what I should be saying. Because there is a prudence in silence. And the word says that even a person that's ignorant will look like they smart when they know when to keep their mouth closed. And so, my mother is from a small town. And her and my grandma and her 7 siblings moved up to the bigger city, before she started having children and everything. And so every couple summers we would go. This was me and my aunt, the one that's the same age I am. We would go down to the town where my mom is from, because we had an aunt that lived down there. And she wasn't my mother's sister. She was actually my grandmother's sister's sister. So, by Aunt Velma is what we would call her. So you see the age range, okay? Aunt Velma was older. She had this little white house. And when I close my eyes, y'all forgive me, I can just see it in my mind's eye. And it sat on a pretty good, spot of land and everything. And she had wood floors and the whole shebang, just a little house in the country, seriously. But the neighbors were relatively close. And to her right, there was a husband and a wife and Aunt Velma never had children either. She didn't have any children. And so we would go down there with her, and it was a husband and a wife that lived next door, and we called, their names were Mr. and Miss Shorty. And they were really sweet people. They were just sweet. He was nice, and she was just sweet. She showed us, between her and Aunt Velma, showed me and my aunt like so much stuff. Like over the summer, we would go down there, and she had an old Singer sewing machine. My aunt did, and Aunt Velma did, and Miss Shorty had a sewing machine too. And they would quilt, and they would, when we would go down there, and sometime Aunt Velma would, she knew what kind of dolls and stuff we had, and so she would help us make doll pillows and doll clothes and all this stuff. I mean, showing us how to do things. And that's also biblical, that the older women are supposed to show the younger women how to carry themselves and how to do things, and because it's important. These are life skills that we were learning, and we really didn't take it for granted. One summer, Miss Shorty taught us how to make underwear, and serious business, and I know how to do that, and Pierre just thinks it's hilarious. He thinks it's just hilarious that who makes underwear? Who makes their own underwear? And I was like, well, I go to the store and buy underwear. Don't y'all, don't get it twisted. But I do know how to make them. I do have some pairs that I did make. And I'm not talking about bloomers. I'm talking about underwear. And he just thinks that that is just like, who does that? I mean, because Pierre, of the two of us, he is the true city slicker. And so that was one summer. But every evening, Aunt Velma and me and my aunt would sit out on the porch. And she, she was just so prissy. Aunt Velma was very prissy. I mean, she was really into everything. And I mean, she was a flirt and all that kind of stuff too. But she was just a prissy woman. I mean, she walked around with her hands up like this. And it was always, ooh, ooh. I mean, she was just like the brown Betty Boop to me as far as I'm concerned. I mean, she wasn't like dressed like that with all this out and stuff. I'm just saying she was just, bubbly like that. So, every evening, the sun started going down, and me, her, and my aunt would be sitting out on the porch with one scoop of vanilla ice cream every evening. And sometimes it would be sherbet, but most of the time it would be ice cream. And we, had these little metal bowls and the little scoop and the spoon, and we sitting out there talking about what had went on for the day and really learning life lessons, but without the, rod. She's talking to us and teaching us about stuff. And Miss Shorty was doing the same thing, and we were really learning, but we just thought it was like a little summer vacation. But in the nighttime, me and my aunt shared a room, and we'd be in that room with the windows open and these little country breezes blowing through. And we'd be in there trying to solve the enigma of the summer. Biting ice cream. We would sit out there. Aunt Velma wouldn't always stay outside with us. Sometimes her phone would ring and she would go inside and leave me and my aunt out on the porch with our scoop of ice cream. And she would always tell us, ladies don't, you don't like scoop it in and gobble it up. You just, take one little bite at a time. And she's teaching us all of this stuff. And she'd go, now you do this and then you just bite it like this. And me and my aunt would be sitting there looking at her like, she bit that ice cream. How did she do that? And every evening we sitting up there getting like real close on her and just looking like, how in the world? Just like on the commercial when you see people doing this, like, how did she bite that ice cream? Every evening we go in there in the room and we be in there laying up in the bed talking like, tomorrow, we're going to bite the ice cream. We're going to bite the ice cream. Our teeth are not going to hurt. We're not going to get a brain freeze from doing it, because that's what we were sitting out there doing, getting brain freezes from biting ice cream. She's biting ice cream and just, and then just going right on talking, and we sitting up there doing that. So I used that verse because we could have been like bulls in a china shop and just said, hey, Velma, how are you able to bite that ice cream? We've been biting ice cream, making our teeth hurt and making our head hurt. But we have been taught, number one, that you don't question adults like that. That was the first thing we was taught, that there was a certain way that you approach the adult about anything. And it didn't matter what it was. You just didn't just rush in and just poof. This is my thought. Boom, here it is. And so we knew better than to do it that way, but we didn't know how to do it. So we just thought we would study her. And we would just, so we trying to be slick and we doing this and we, it's the moment. The moment's coming and we sitting there, doing this, and then she, and we like, still don't know how she did that. When we got to be adults, and my aunt and I talked about this, I think it was last year. And my Aunt Velma's gone. She been gone for a little bit now. And she was just a trip. But me and my aunt was sitting up one day and we was like, I said, I finally figured out why Aunt Velma was able to bite that ice cream. And she said, yeah, I did too. And we both looking at each other like, do you realize how much time we spent laying in there in that bed trying to figure out how to bite ice cream without the side effects? And I said, we both just decided the conclusion that we drew was Aunt Velma had dentures. She had dentures back then. We never knew. We never saw teeth in a glass or teeth in a cup or anything. She did, like I said, she was the quintessential lady, and it wasn't going to be none of that. Now, where those things went at nighttime, I don't know. But I know that she had dentures, and she was biting ice cream, and we spent our summer trying to emulate something that we really couldn't reproduce, okay? And so at this point, we busted out laughing. That was last year. And every now and again, we'll bring it up and kind of chuckle about it. And I was talking to Pierre, and I just told him, I said, you know, that's one of them biting ice cream type scenarios. So anytime I get up on something that, you know, really looks like one thing, but it's really something else, you know, I liken it to a biting ice cream situation. And I explained it to him what I meant by that one day, and he just busted out laughing because he thought it was hilarious. Y'all didn't know, and I was like, no. And so this diet, the way I eat, this activity that I'm doing, whatever the activity is, if it's walking, if it's Zumba tapes, if it's, you know, Jessica Smith tea, whatever it is that I'm doing, this is not a biting ice cream type situation. This is something that is reproducible. It's something that that anybody can do. It's not something, it's not an enigma. If you exercise and you watch what you're eating, the weight will come off. I am seriously serious about what I'm doing at this point. I'm grateful to everybody that subscribed to my channel and that gives me positive feedback, which is if you blow through and leave a message, or if you comment every day, however you doing it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm just going to keep going. I know that when these two puzzles fit together, I'm not going to come up with some little thing like, you know, that you can only do if you had those certain circumstances. I don't have dentures. And I'm not even laughing about anybody that does. I'm just saying that that's a lesson that will stay with me forever. Things are not always as they seem. Some things you can't reproduce unless you got the right tools. And the other thing to remember is that sometimes it's best to hold your mouth and the answer will come. Y'all, if you haven't moved your meat, move your meat. If you don't plan on moving your meat or you're making excuses, ask yourself why. And then do it anyway. Y'all have a good day. Toodles.